What is up, YouTube? This is Josh, aka Dad the Dragon Slayer, and this is the fifth and final episode of the Labor and Delivery series. Today, we're going to go over what they don't tell you, which is my probably favorite episode of this whole thing, because I like bringing the perspective that you don't get anywhere else. So this is all the stuff that they don't tell you that's going to happen. Let's get going. First thing they don't tell you is that you can retain up to 6.5 pounds of fluid after giving birth. So your lady's legs swell up and look like they get elephantitis. Their ankles get really swollen, their feet get really swollen. Sometimes it can get to the point where it's actually like painful to get up and walk. It was kind of terrifying. Like, I had known older people with congestive heart failure, and that's about how much fluid they had in their legs. So that was a big deal for us. Just a little heads up. Leg swelling is totally normal. Like I said, it's up to about 6.5 pounds of fluid. So expect that to kind of dwindle over time. After about 2 weeks, it's gone entirely. So no big worry there. After the first week, it's mostly gone. And then by the time you're done with those first 2 weeks, it's over. So no big deal. But yeah, we didn't hear about that at all. So it was like terrifying. We thought she had like a blood clot or something, which she didn't. It was just totally normal. She did have preeclampsia, so if you do have that too and you're diagnosed with it, it may be more swelling than otherwise, so just kind of keep that in mind and gauge it from there. Number 2 thing they don't tell you about is baby gas. Baby gas is the worst. It will ravage your entire existence from this day henceforth. It sounds like they're dying when they're experiencing it. It causes a lot of pain and discomfort for them, so they let you know about it. First time it happened in the hospital, I think it didn't really happen until like the second day after she gave birth. But man, when it hit, it was terrifying. I mean, like blood-curdling screams, not like she was hungry, not like she was uncomfortable, but like we thought she was dying. So we called in a nurse and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's baby gas. Get used to it." So burping is really important. After about 2 weeks old, you can use things like gas drops and gripe water. We've used gripe water. It's pretty good. We've used gas drops the past couple of days, and it's awesome. So as soon as they can get on that, give it to them. I'm not one to pump my kid full of medicine and stuff, but it's extremely uncomfortable for them. So if it's something and it's not like we're using it every time we feed either. So we'll use it if she gets really fussy throughout the day, and then we'll use it at night before we go to bed. So that kind of helps a lot. But definitely burp after every ounce if you're bottle feeding or if you're breastfeeding, right on there after, when you switch basically, and then when you're done is when you're going to want to burp. But it's a process that they kind of learn too. So they're not going to be super good at burping right off the bat. You want a gentle but firm, I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but gentle but firm pat. You should only have to burp for about 60 seconds, like a minute. Maybe in the beginning do it for a little bit longer, but that should relieve a lot of that stuff. Good ways to burp, we do on our chest, kind of over the shoulder. The other thing we found though is if we're really, really reclined and we do that, so she's almost horizontal, she gets the burps out really well, really quickly. But be careful, always have a burp cloth on you, because the more horizontal they are, the higher likelihood you're going to get spewed on, which is going to happen as well. Most of the time it's just gas that's behind that milk that she just drank, and it's kind of pushing it all out. So that's something to expect. Kind of get used to it. It's terrifying, so if they're screaming, you think they're dying, don't worry, it's probably just gas. Try to burp them, try to hold them at that 45-degree angle that we kind of talked about soothing in the Essential Skills video. Another way to hold them is you can just lay them across your lap like this and just kind of pat them with both hands until they get some burps out. That'll help. The third thing that they really don't tell you is breastfeeding is nigh impossible. So go into it knowing it's going to be frustrating. It takes teamwork. It takes both people in there. The whole time she was trying to get everything situated up here the way it's supposed to be, which is ridiculous. The nipple's supposed to be kind of angled upwards and touch the roof of their mouth, and that's when they figure out how to latch. And oh man, there was a the nurse that came in to do our hearing screening, I just about throttled her. She said, "Oh, it'll come naturally. It's all natural." It's like, you've never had children, because this is super difficult. So the breastfeeding process is a very hormonal thing. And with that being said, if you do get frustrated and overly stressed, those, I believe it's cortisol, gets released, and it inhibits the letdown of breast milk, is what they call it. So getting frustrated will actually work against you. So environment, dim the lights, close the blinds, get some like relaxing music playing, even some just like generic background noise. Like you might hear a little babbling brook in the background. That's because she's sleeping right now. Something like that in the background. Attack it with all 5 senses. So that's hearing. If you're at home or you've got just access to Netflix in the hospital, there's a show on there called Moving Art. It's all nature. It's not narrated. It's just nice background music to it. It's not things killing each other or like making babies or anything either. It's just like very calming kind of footage, slow pans, nice music. So you've got kind of the hearing and the visual there. Smell is a really big sense. It can be extremely influential. So we have aromatherapy stress relief lotion. It's eucalyptus and spearmint scent. It helps a lot. Touch, I mean, even like a soft blanket, something, anything really to calm and relax them, get you in a relaxed state. The environment is half the battle. If you can get the environment right, then you're probably going to have a lot more success breastfeeding in the first place, because it is really stressful. It's like it's hard. It'll take you 45 minutes to get them to actually start feeding, and then they feed for like 15 to a half hour, and you know, you just spent an hour of your time, and then you have to start it again in 2 hours, and it's going to take an hour to get them to eat again. So it's really frustrating. It can be, at least. It's probably going to be a few times. So just keep that in mind. Try to stay calm. Try to create the environment that is good and stress relieving, so that just makes it easier. And pay attention when the lactation consultant comes in. The first time the lactation consultant came in, I was reading because I figured, like, yeah, she's got this, you know, and that didn't help. The second time she came in, I paid very, very close attention, and being able to be a teammate in that really, really helped. Also, if you do have access to a lactation consultant, use them as many times as you possibly can to try to learn as much as you can, because it's a super difficult, like I said, process. So those are the 3 things that they really don't tell you. You know, you're going to have like swelling like mad, no big deal, don't worry about it, you're going to be all right. You're going to experience baby gas for the first time, it's going to be terrifying, don't worry, just try to burp them. Keep diligent on that too. Even when they're not like gassy and fussy right after they eat, stay diligent and burp them anyways, because they're going to need it, because like 45 minutes will go by and then they'll get all fussy and gassy. So and then breastfeeding is a bear. Like, work on it together. It's really, really important. We even switched to just breast pumping and using bottles, because it's just way easier for us personally. So, you know, don't get disappointed if it doesn't work out for you either. We even had one night in the hospital where she was just like starving, and Sydney's milk hadn't really come in yet, so they gave her some formula to kind of settle her down and get her fed. And, you know, it all worked out in the end, so no big deal. Stay diligent, stay patient. Those are 2 big things that'll help you a lot, but those are 3 things that they don't tell you. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. If you like the video, hit a like. YouTube digs that stuff, helps out the channel. I don't really care, but they like it, so it would be greatly appreciated. And then if you want to see more, hit the subscribe. I'm super excited this is over, honestly, because now we get to start doing product reviews. I'm a really big design guy, so we're going to go into some stuff. I think I'm going to go over super simple stuff first, like wipes. We have a couple different brands just because people gave us stuff, and there's one that's awful and others that are great. So stay tuned, and I will let you know, the best way to kind of set yourself up for success in that. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a good one, and we'll catch you next time.